All right, in this video, we're going to be going over some really strong performing fragrances that you might not own, but you should consider trying out. They work out really well for me in terms of lasting a long time and projecting really far. Again, that is the objective of this video here, strong performers. And so if that's what you like, you're going to like these. As always, we've got a nice little variety here of some spring, summer, fall, winter scents, just no matter what time of year it is where you live and what type of weather you're facing and what you like in general, you should be able to find something in this video that's going to resonate with you. We're going to start off with something that's pretty affordable from Rasasi. It's Hawas Ice. This one has apple, orange blossom, and musk. So kind of actually a sweeter take on the original DNA. You still do get original Hawas in here. That fruity, kind of watery, aquatic, Invictus Aqua smell essentially is what a lot of people know it as. You still pick up on that. However, it does have, again, a sweeter take on that DNA. Some might say that maybe it goes into that YSL direction a little bit. There's different ways that you can look at it here, but it's still maintaining that blue fragrance type of smell and really, in this instance, bumping up the performance big time. Now, the original already performs really good. Don't get me wrong. I've never had an issue with the performance of the original, and for that matter, a lot of the flankers as well. They're all really strong for the money. But this one here really doubles down on it, just giving you that added sweetness, which kind of helps the performance in this case. Again, it kind of reminds you of just some other things you've smelled before. This next one is Terre Pure Parfum. Very, very potent, dry, woody, earthy scent. Still maintaining that original Terre type of smell, which is that earthy, woody, kind of orange, masculine smell. This is still prominent in here, okay? It's just mainly you're bumping it up to a parfum concentration and leaning into the woody notes even more, which is kind of crazy, but that's what they do with this. So this one has orange, oak moss, and woods or woody notes or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they go into detail, but for sure like a vetiver, a cedar wood, that type of deal. Not a soft, creamy sandalwood. It's the drier, earthier, more kind of masculine smelling woody notes here. That's what this one really doubles down on. The oak moss gives it this slight green, but yet still masculine edge. And then, of course, the orange, that carries over. It wouldn't be a Terre flanker without some form of orange in there, and you still get a little bit of that. Although muddled a little bit with the major increase in wood focus going on here, you still get just enough of it to make it make sense, basically, to place this one as a Terre flanker. So that's where this one falls. Much stronger than the original, and again, just a great performer all the way around. More of a, again, kind of a masculine and classy upscale smelling scent with a lot of versatility for year round. It wouldn't be my first choice for the hot summer days, but other than that, spring, fall, winter, it's a great one to pick. Now, this next one actually follows kind of a similar trend a little bit, mainly being that it's different. It's not, a sweet, bubblegummy, blue type of fragrance. It is basically the exact opposite. And it's always been kind of a polarizing release, but it is a really good performer. And while it's not for everybody, there are people who love how this smells. It's Gucci guilty, absolute. I mean, man, I love the presentation. The bottle is just clear glass, right? Nothing fancy there. It's a guilty bottle, but look at the color of it, the color of the liquid inside. Just deep, dark, kind of brownish color. It just, man, it looks super cool. This one has leather, woods, and vetiver, and I'm telling you, it is so, so unique. Smoky, leathery, woody, and earthy, dry smelling scent. It's this, again, I would not recommend going straight in for a blind buy without really kind of establishing where you currently are with your collection and what you like, because it could be easy to follow the hype train blindly and just buy it without giving it thought. But I encourage you not to do that. I try to help people not do that when it makes sense not to do so. Dylan Blue, anybody could buy that on a blind buy and probably be safe, right? It's a soapy scent. This is not, so if you don't like leather, if you don't like woods, if you are not prepared to experience just something completely different than what you're used to normally smelling, then do not blind buy this, okay? Find a way to try it first or just pass on it in general. But there are plenty of you guys out there who have been doing this long enough. You know what you like, you know what you have, and you can make those decisions accordingly. And for those of you, I would say, hey, this might be something to look into if you want strong performance and ultimately just a unique way to stand out. You know, it kind of has this rubber smell, like tires. I don't know if anybody's ever walked into a Firestone or someplace where they have tires sitting on the showroom floor and you can smell it. It's like the rubber gassing off whatever chemicals are inside of it. A brand new tire, they just have that distinct smell. You could almost say that this has a little bit of that, which is going to throw people off even more. But for me, having smelled so many things, this is what I like. I like unique, interesting experiences like this. And hey, Gucci, they've done stuff like this before in the past, usually discontinue them. Somehow this is still around to get on discounters. And hey, got another strong performer here that is unique, but some people definitely like it. This next one is Nuit Issey Parfum by Issey Miyake, yet another one that is just absolutely gorgeous. We're kind of back on track with things that aren't quite as odd. Terre Parfum, not too bad, but that Guilty, that one's kind of out there. Everything else from this point on, they're easygoing. They're more designer-ish, right, in the traditional sense. So kind of getting back on track with this one here. Smoky, resinous, sweet, beautiful release from the brand. Leather, pink pepper, tonka bean, vanilla. It's so good. Back when they put out some truly amazing scents. This, Noir Ombre, Issey Miyake Polaris, or Incense, and there's a few more that I'm missing off the top of my head that were just truly amazing. You know, I think when we think of Issey Miyake, at least for me, I think of L'Eau d'Issey and all of those fresh flankers, which a lot of them, you know, they're good, but they don't really stand out in a super unique way. They're just kind of, you know, nothing overly special about most of them, just as a generalization. But when you go into, you know, this deeper, darker fragrance lineup, like the ones I mentioned, man, they put out some amazing scents that kind of got, you know, overshadowed. They weren't really all that popular. They would catch a little bit of attention here and there in the fragrance community, but other than that, they just didn't take off, and that's why they discontinued all of them, or at least I would assume that's why. And this is one that I think is probably technically discontinued, but you can get it still. Usually right around $60. This is a 125 ml pure Parfum concentration, so it is an actual Parfum, and it's just, again, I already mentioned it, leathery, sweet, smoky, kind of has this mysterious smell to it, which oftentimes comes from a little bit of a smoky, leathery type of scent. There's just something about it that's kind of addicting, kind of alluring, you know, it draws people in closer. I love it. Again, great performer. Another way to stand out, but not in a weird way, not like Guilty Absolute, more in a way of just still having this sexy type of smell about it, but most people don't wear it or have ever smelled it before, therefore you kind of stand out because of that reason. Still has great mass appeal, so nothing to worry about there. It's perfect for right now, fall, heading into winter. This next one is Guerlain Patchouli Paris. Now this one's pretty expensive, I'm aware of that. But if you have some deep pockets or you just have money burning a hole in your pocket and you want to spend some money, this is one you can check out. Cool presentation, cool color on the liquid inside as well. This one has patchouli, iris, and ambergris, so no surprise on the patchouli. It is a patchouli-based scent. However, not what I was expecting in the slightest. It's not an overly green, earthy patchouli. Rather, it's a lighter patchouli, mainly because they're also implementing some of that nice, smooth iris, a little bit of an ambergris, which actually gives this scent more of a freshness than I was anticipating. When I think of a patchouli scent, I think of, this is kind of an extreme example, but something like Xerjoff Richwood. It's just strong, earthy, masculine, green, heavy, smoky patchouli. That's kind of typically what I think of when I think of a patchouli-based scent. This couldn't be further from that. It really is just a smoother, more easygoing patchouli, lighter, but I like it. And just because I'm saying that this is lighter or, you know, it's easier going or whatever, doesn't mean that it's a bad performer or that it's weak. Quite the opposite. It's also a very, very strong performer. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because of the price point, but it is a great one to throw in, great one to have in your collection if you want to invest in something. This next one is Herrera Bad Boy Elixir. So you guys have seen these plenty of times. I think we're talking a big upgrade with this over the original Bad Boy. This one has sage, leather, and cedar wood. Smells awesome. Woody, earthy, little bit of an aromatic touch, but I'll tell you, you know, they don't give you a ton for the note breakdown. There's so much more going on here, but they kind of touch on the main points. Reminds me a little bit of something like Burberry Hero Parfum / Eau de Parfum, just that same type of woodiness mixed with a little bit of a freshness. Now, you do get some sweet notes in here as well, so it's not just completely woody and aromatic and that's it. You get a tonka, you get maybe a bit of a vanilla, but again, there is still quite a bit of an earthiness and a woodiness. The leather comes through here a lot more than I was expecting it to, which to me is nice. I love a good leather scent. In this instance here, it's a very wearable, easygoing leather, nothing that's too crazy or out there. A really strong performer from this one as well. Definitely something to check out if you want a nice, mass-pleasing designer with great performance. This next one is Rabanne 1 Million Gold. This one has sandalwood, spices, orange, and cedar wood. So this is kind of when they rebranded and now they're not 1 million, I believe. Now it's just million. And it's not Paco Rabanne, it's just Rabanne, okay? So some changes that were starting somewhere. I might have been with this one or maybe another one, but anyway, you know, some differences going forward here. So actually a woody-based scent. Most of the 1 millions are overly sweet. Not this one. Nice, slight freshness to this one, which is unexpected, but warmly welcome. So the sandalwood, cedarwood, those need no introduction. The sandalwood, giving it a bit of a smooth kind of woody accord. Cedar is giving it more of a rugged texture, and then some nice orange off the top to give it not an overly fresh smell, but at least kind of aids in a little bit of a fresh balance here. They were pretty general with the term spices, maybe a little bit of cardamom, maybe a little bit of, you know, like a black pepper or pink pepper type of smell, somewhere in that category. I don't really get any cinnamon or anything like that out of it, maybe more so just some sort of pepper or cardamom deal. Another really strong performer here that is a great compliment getter as well. It's a Rabanne, it's a 1 million or million, right? It's within this lineup that is known for just being, you know, a mass-pleasing fragrance lineup that any guy could go out and purchase and get great results from. That is what this is in a nutshell. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some strong performing fragrances that maybe you don't own, maybe you've passed on these, but they are worth checking out if you are after that. I will drop links to them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.